We had a lot of opportunities. We had really, really good moments. We had some really, really bad moments. We've learned a lot on this trip that I think will prepare us for the SEC play that's right around the corner. And we'll be better for what we've done as a schedule. I think when we put it together, obviously the recency of 2 straight losses are things that are hard to put in perspective sometimes as they're happening, but I think we'll take 13-2 in our net where we're at going into league play.
Porter.
Porter wins the award today, not me.
Can't hear you.
Porter.
Is that sign language, Porter?
You
Want
can
me to jump in here until he gets going?
Yeah, go, Doug.
You talked about the trip out
All
there.
right, folks, made some slight changes here, but some new model data came in. Not for anything but the temperatures. I could see us being closer to about 2 degrees. Actually, our temperatures in Northwest Arkansas by about 3 p.m., maybe even colder than that. I might have to adjust that even farther down. Might have to adjust this number farther.
All right. Sorry, Dudley. Go ahead.
Weather report for you back home.
No problem. You talked about going out there. What do you think you did learn from your team? Just off the top of your head before you start watching it.
That it is every single possession. It's not the one at the end of regulation. It's not the one at the end of overtime. It can be the 3rd play of the second half. It can be the 5th play. We're going to be in a ton of 1 possession games. We can't have the, oh, my bad, I forgot that play. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to do this on the screen. Losses have a tendency to help you learn faster because they hurt more, and you can learn through losses. I don't ever want to do it, but I think it's part of sports. But we have learned the value of every single possession. I think we have valued that for us to be successful, we're going to either have to start making more threes or taking less. That'll be a tactical decision that I'll really work with our coaches on during the break to see which one of those 2 things it is. And we got a little bit more depth. We missed not having Jersey these 2 games. She's just ill. She wanted to try to play today, but it wasn't the best decision to make. So we either got to develop some confidence in a little bit further down our bench or get everybody back healthy, because in the SEC, there's always going to be moments like this where you're going to need it. We learned that. And I think, too, we learned not to blame each other out here, take some individual responsibility and accept part of the blame. It's not any one person's fault. It's an accumulation of all of our faults. So don't blame yourself only, but also don't blame another. And I think we did learn that while we're on this trip, combined with the other things that at Creighton and here, we're lumping those three games all together.
Also, obviously, you've got to fly back now. What does your Christmas holidays look like in terms of practice and then being gone and all that?
We'll get them home today. We're getting ready to head right to the airport. We were really fortunate that university is who the university is, and we were able to charter out here. So we'll get home, weather permitting, tonight before it gets midnight. We have a number of kids that drive home. So we have also a few kids that'll be leaving directly from here with their parents to get Christmas started, their break started. We'll bring them back the day after Christmas late just to get everybody into town and make sure they're there to start our preparation for LSU. I think that's on the 29th. So we'll practice. We've tried to do everything this year on a 2-day prep. So although we will be back and practice the 26th, it won't really be prepping for LSU. It'll be more about burning our lungs out a little bit and getting off of some turkey and gravy or whatever we decide to partake of during the break. And
Thanks.
then we go right straight into, I think we have 4 games and then a bye. So we'll start to map out on the way home. We'll get the calendar out and start to map out our January and early February.
Jordan, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
You talked about your hesitancy to sort of go deeper into your bench on these last few days. Do you think you're running into any fatigue issues with playing your starters so many minutes?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I think it's inevitable. But I think we're in great shape. It's not like when they're done, they're not telling me that they're so tired that they couldn't play. I think we were better conditioned than they were. I really do. They made some shots. I don't think that was the case tonight. I think we're in great shape. So, but yeah, I'd love to, be able to get an extra 4 or 5 minutes out of Emory in there. But Marion got in foul trouble tonight, or her minutes would have been up there. So it's kind of like I said, it's a lot of things that all came together, a confluence of things. Marion being in foul trouble, Jersey not being able to play, and but yeah, I'm sure fatigue. I think we're one of the only teams in the country. There's a couple maybe that have played 15, but when the NCAA said you can play 15 games, that's how many we're going to try to play. We're not going to schedule short like a bunch of teams have. I think our kids sign up to play basketball. I think it's our responsibility to play as many games as the NCAA says we should play, and we have. And I'm proud of our kids for doing that. I think now we can get into a real good routine, 2 games per week. We know when they're coming. We can schedule them out. So I think we're better for it, knowing that what we need to know about our team. Again, I looked at games again today. There's 15 or 20 Division I teams playing non-Division I opponents today. And that's simply so you can go in and feel good about yourself at Christmas. I'll call anybody out that's done that game. That's the only reason you would do that, is so that you don't have to worry about a Christmas coming off a loss. That's not how we're going to do things. We're going to play the best teams we can play heading into the SEC. And I'm never going to change that about the way we attack it. I don't think anybody around our program would want to see us do that. So we're not about to be that type of team.
And they ended up running 9 or 10 different players today. Do you have any trouble sort of game planning when they have so many different lineups that they can go to on a daily basis?
We really didn't, not because their actions were all still pretty much the same. They played through 3 kids, and their actions Mac did an unbelievable job on Sammy Puisis and took one of those kids out of the game completely. But I do think their other kids came in and made big plays. There wasn't necessarily a lack of game planning. They've played a bunch of kids yesterday too, and their actions are what they were. But on a short turnaround, he may look at it and think that was 1 point worth difference. So it was something we'll look at, but I don't think we're fatigued beyond the point that we couldn't have found a way. Again, if we come up with a basket or a score, we're here talking about how great we feel. So I'm not one of these guys that's going to change my opinion about our team based on a 1 point result.
And in that third quarter, they shot 70%, had 7 assists on 10 made baskets. What were they able to do that gave you guys so much trouble?
Get the ball to Dulcie around the basket. She got in foul trouble in the first half, and they came back out and really established her right off the bat. And when you get a dominant low post player like that, you're going to get assists because you're throwing it to a kid that doesn't dribble it to score. So the assist total goes up. But yeah, I think they made 8 of their first 9 shots, and for the quarter, it didn't seem like they missed very many. I think were they 10 for 14 or something. So they made some adjustments, but I think the main difference was she played in the third quarter after not playing much in the second. She's that good a player.
Cool. Ethan?
Head coach, just to have a lot of competitors on the team and to lose back-to-back days, late leads kind of slip away. Just what were you able to gauge kind of the mood in the locker room, just the players after playing 2 tough games?
Yeah, I mean, they're disappointed we lost, and I think they're disappointed in things that happened. I think they're disappointed for the right reasons, though. And I don't think there's any discouragement over there. I think there is disappointment. I think there's reflection on what we can do, every single one of us, to maybe not have as many of these close games go against us. But again, we're talking about 2 out of a bunch of close games that we've had. So I'm just not going to let the recency of 2 games, and I don't think they will either, determine how we feel about what we did in the non-conference. I don't think it's a trend. I know people will want to say that, but we played 2 teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament. So and we played good, played a lot of good stuff, things we can improve on, but there was no discouragement. There was disappointment in the things that happened, but not necessarily in themselves or each other.
And then only other thing I have is, I know you said before the week you go 2-0 or 0-2, either way, it's going to be a better team because of it. Just what did you think at large of this whole tournament that was put on?
I said 3-0. We were talking about it as a 3-game hole. We could go 3-0 or 1-2 or 2-1, all those different options, counting Creighton in there. So listen, we're going to try to do the same thing for as long as if we have an NCAA tournament type team, which I think we do, then we're going to do this every December. We're going to try to challenge ourselves going into SEC play. I wish we would have won these last 2 games, but I can guarantee you anybody that's followed us didn't have us being 15-0 at Christmas in the pool. I know they didn't. So I'm not gonna even speculate that was the case. But I think we'll continue to do that until somebody talks me out of it, until somebody tells me it's too much to ask of our kids to challenge them. But I know that group of competitors you were just asking me about, if we scheduled somebody they'd never heard of, they might transfer. They might leave in today's world. They want to be challenged. They want to play on TV. They want to play in front. They want to play against teams that they know